Peace, brothers and sisters in humanity. I'm back. I haven't been away for long, every day, but I'm back. Okay, let me just say that. Today we're going to talk about circumcision. Okay, and let's let this prophet tell you about it. Yeah. All right. Let's go.
Finally, a questioner says, what's the ruling on male and female circumcision? Now, female circumcision, we've been through this, and we've said that this is not mandatory in Islam. And it's not similar to FGM, a female genital mutilation, because
Okay.
this is from the Pharaoh's era.
Okay, let's stop him here, because obviously he's just saying things without giving any proofs. Yeah, but let's go to the Bukhari. Okay, Bukhari number 5891 and Muslim 257. And who shows up in the funniest hadiths? Abu Huraira, the mad scientist. Okay. عن أبي هريرة سمعت رسول الله يقول الفطرة خمس الختان والاستحداد وقص الشارب وتقديم الأظافر ونتف الأباطي وهذا عام في حق الرجال والنساء. So the Prophet here is saying circumcision here is for women and men. Alright? That's what he's saying here. Alright? He's saying it's not mandatory. Alright? And this hadith here, Hadith al-Bukhari, Sahih al-Bukhari, the genius, is saying is mandatory, okay? Because it's to do with fitrah, alright? I don't know what he's talking about fitrah here, but let's go back and talk about fitrah. But let's finish. And Shafi'i or Hanabila, alright? They say it's actually mandatory to circumcise women. It used to be mandatory, and then when people started to make a noise about it, they stopped it. It used to be sunnah, which is like they're following the Prophet saying, they used to follow this hadith. And then when people started to make noise in the West and everyone, all right, they stopped it. This guy is saying it's not the same as female mutilation. So tell us, what is it in Islam? How do you mutilate, how do you chop anything from a woman without being mutilation? Okay? I don't know what you chop, what you leave, all right? He didn't say, because he's talking rubbish, because it is female mutilations. Okay. And most of the people with knowledge, Ahl al-Ilm, they said afterwards, it's not mandatory for women, but it's mandatory for men. But for women, it's sunnah, okay? When you go back to sunnah, that means you go back to this hadith, the hadith I just said. So, and the hadith here say, it's al-fitrah, so you have to do it. Okay, it's all confusing. And they said there's actually, Ahl al-Ilm, right? People with knowledge, they say it's got benefits for female mutilations. We actually, I've done my research on that, alright? For both male or female, there's no health benefit at all. Not even zero. And we can explain it, what's the benefit, alright? For male. Okay, now, and there is another hadith, Abu Dawud, alright? Abu Dawud, number 5271, أنه أرشد, basically he advised this woman, at the time, she was circumcising women, and he told her not to cut too much. So I don't know, not to cut too much of a women. Alright? Okay. Alright. That's the hadith, alright? Let's carry on.
No relation to Islam. It deprives a woman from enjoying her natural needs regarding intimacy. So
Okay.
this is totally separate and different from Islamic circumcision. Nevertheless,
But he didn't tell us what's Islamic circumcision in female. Didn't tell us how, alright? Because he knows it's the same thing, it's mutilation. He knows it. Look at the look.
it is not mandatory to have female circumcision. As for the male, it is mandatory to have it.
Okay, when he said it is mandatory to have it, he should have a verse from the Quran or a hadith, which is this hadith, right? But this hadith said women and men, right? Women and men. This hadith is saying women and men. So if this is your proof that It's mandatory for men, so it will be mandatory for women. So you can't lie. That's what Abu Hurairah said, okay? So do you listen to Abu Hurairah or not? Do you follow the Prophet or not? Because sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. Okay, let's carry on. The best part is coming now. I'm coming to like a climax, alright? It is climax, alright?
Of Sunan al-Fitrah. This is part of the Sunan of nature.
Alright. When he says a sunan, I don't think he knows what he's talking about. When he said it's a sunan of nature, alright, that means when he said something natural, it has to be born like that. So has to be most of men have to be born circumcised, okay, for it to be natural, right? And then if let's say few male born not circumcised, that's become unnatural. So let's just say if 99% of men and women born circumcised, that becomes the natural fitrah, yeah? And then the 1%, if they're born not circumcised, that become unnatural. So we have to circumcise them. Isn't that right? Or am I just talking rubbish? But I know this is the truth, okay? But let's carry on. The climax is coming, all right?
All prophets had this done. Prophet Ibrahim.
Well, he's saying all prophets has this done with no proof again, okay? No proof. Not even a hadith about any other prophet except Prophet Ibrahim, all right? There's a hadith about it in the Bukhari, and he's going to say it in a minute, yeah? In the Bukhari, number 6298, and in Muslim as well, Sahihain, all right? And who's again? Abu Hurairah, the mad scientist again, all right? But before I say this hadith, let him explain it to you. So you don't say I'm lying.
Circumcised when he was 80 years of age. He circumcised himself with an axe. And this is mandatory because it purifies a person when he answers the call of nature and there's no...
He doesn't know what he's talking about. Because it's mandatory because the calling of nature or whatever purifies. Alright, the Bukhari. Now let's go back to the Bukhari, right? And then we're going to stop there for a second and think about it, yeah? Alright. This is Sahih Bukhari and Abi Hurairah أن الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم قال اختتن إبراهيم عليه السلام وهو ابن 80 سنة بالقدوم. Alright? That means the Prophet said that Abraham circumcised himself with a digging hoe. Alright? You know what a digging hoe is, yeah? Please go and do your research, please. Just go to Google and I'll write down digging hoe, alright? And see what it is. This guy is amazing. These people are mad, honestly. That's why I use the word mad, because they're mentally ill, right? How is it, just picture it for a second. Picture yourself holding, right? So he didn't have nothing, no medical thing, nothing to stop the pain, nothing. It's just naturally, just imagine that. Picture yourself in one hand holding your penis, all right? And the other hand, you've got the digging hoe and chop the foreskin off, right? Just go and look what a digging hoe is and picture yourself practicing that on yourself, right? How do you do that without, I mean, you have to do it once. You can't do it like, you can't try it. You can't try it. I say, I'm going to try and see if I can do it first, right? So you have to do it once. So how do you do it without cutting half of it off, right? What's the chances of actually getting it right with a digging hoe, right? But this guy is sitting there with a long beard, thinks he's a prophet, and he knows better than all of us, all right? Because he read some books from like 1,000 years ago, and he's actually telling us this is actually mandatory and we have to do it and all that with absolutely no evidence or any, except from this hadith, Abu Hurairah, all right? Abu Hurairah, the mad scientist. Remember, I talked about him. It's a lot more to come from him. Okay, I'm going to stop him now because there's nothing he's going to say. All right, so you think, right, if there is a hadith about, if a prophet talked about the circumcision of Abraham and he knows about it, so we should have a hadith about the prophet circumcision or his companions, right? because the Prophet was 40 years old, right, when a revelation came down to him, right? So he shouldn't be circumcised, right? But there isn't a single hadith about that. There isn't a single hadith about the Prophet being circumcised. Not from Abu Hurairah even, right? But they come up with three things, right? They said he's either, right? This is not from a hadith. This is Ahl al-Ilm again, right? Ahl al-Ilm, those people with knowledge, right? People with the brains, right? That we don't have we don't have the brains, right? These people with brains, they come up with three conclusions, right? It's either ولد مختونا, he was born circumcised, wait, or the Prophet or the angel Gabriel performed the circumcision on him, so the Prophet didn't have a digging hole, right, to do it himself, because he should have followed Abraham and do it himself, because that's what God told him in the Quran, إنك على ملة إبراهيم. So the Prophet should have got a digging hole and chopped his foreskin off himself, you know. That's the Sunnah to Ibrahim, if it's the Sunnah, right? And then the third, he said his grandfather circumcised him when he was 7. So, it was 7 days, when he was 7 days, or 7 years, right? So, his grandfather, think about it, he wasn't a Muslim. He was an idolizer. So we don't know what religion he had, right? They always come up with something. They used to follow the Abraham, the Sunnah of Abraham, right? So if they follow the Sunnah of Abraham, we should all be chopping our things off with the digging hole, right? That's the Sunnah. You can't change it. Right? There'll be no scissors or something. Don't mix it up, right? Do not, right? His grandfather wasn't a Muslim, so why would he circumcise him? You have to question everything. To find out the lies these people say, you have to question every word they say, because they don't even know what they're talking about. They only read from old books and tell us they actually know better than us. So we can read the same books they're reading. That's not difficult, innit? Now we can read the books. I mean, before we didn't have the books. All right? Now we have everything. We have Google. We have applications. We have everything now. All right? We can read what they're reading from. That's why most people now, they're actually thinking. They're using their own brain and thinking, what are these people talking about, man? What are these people, Arab-looking people, are they talking about? Right? And there isn't a single hadith, right, about Prophet's companions being circumcised. You know what I mean? So we know there's a hadith about Abraham, who was born 10,000 BC or probably more than that. But there isn't a single hadith about the Prophet or his companions being circumcised, either with scissors or a digging hole. Right? So why are we doing that? Why are we doing that to our kids? Why did our parents did that to us? We didn't have no say in it. It's pure mutilation. Okay. Some say the benefit of circumcision is to not have infections. Okay? I don't see it as a problem nowadays for people not circumcised, all right? If you go and womanize, all right, you sleep with different women, or a woman, even a woman doesn't have a penis, does she? So she can still have an infection, right? If she sleeps with a lot of men, different men. So men can have infections, whether you're circumcised or not, you still carry infections. Okay? There is no exact science saying there's actually big benefit, right, from circumcision altogether. So it's scientifically not proven. It's actually good. You can do your own research, right? Because I've done my own research as well, right? There is no benefit from getting circumcised unless you want to basically just sleep with different women and go with prostitutes and shit. As a Muslim, you're not supposed to do that, right? So what's the benefit? And why did Abraham circumcise himself when he was 80? He wasn't a womanizer, was he? So he wouldn't have infection, would he? Do you know what I'm saying? Like HIV and all this you know, there's so many. It's not just HIV. It's so many infections now. You get them through sleeping with people. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I don't see the benefit of it. I don't see why Allah wouldn't tell us if if it had a very if it had like health benefit. Allah would have said it in the Quran to do it, like not to eat pork, not to drink alcohol, not to gamble, not to a lot of things, not drink blood. This is all health benefits, right? Or eat that something's been dead, or something like the lion's been eaten from, or this is all health benefit for us. If circumcision had health benefit, it would have been in the Quran first. He wouldn't leave it to anyone else to tell it to us. Even the Prophet didn't tell us he was circumcised or not. So why are you doing that? Why are you mutilating your kids? Why? Why are we doing it? And don't find excuses. It's not like the African one or the Pharaoh one or it's not. What? So how then? How? Show us. Can you, Mr. Prophet? Mr. Prophet with a beard, you. Can you tell us how do you perform a female mutilations or circumcision in the Islamic way, without it being mutilation? If you chop anything off your body, it's mutilation. You can't put makeup on it. You understand what I'm saying? So these guys have no idea what they're talking about. And you go and see the video, yeah, because you don't think, look, this guy is everywhere, right? And they all say the same thing, not just him, yeah? Because they read from the same book. You're not going to go somewhere else and find someone talking differently about this, right? They all say they read from the same book. So they all say the same thing like parrots, without actually thinking a little bit, using their own heads or their brains. Because they use their ancestors' Abaihim and Ajdadihim brain. And we stuffed their brains and put it in a bag. Alright, this is it. They switched it off. Let's not think. Let's just read what our fathers told us and let's practice that without even thinking about it. See guys, this Abu Hurairah and these people with beards, they don't know shit. And they told us that we don't know our deen. So they have to show us our deen. So I have to get a digging hoe and chop my foreskin off. That's the deen. I don't know, up to you. You believe what you want. You can call me stupid, you can call me whatever you want, right? But you can't run away from the truth, man. This is crap. Just crap. Peace.